So to put on the rest of the hardware, it'll be easier because the top surface of your bed is going to sit up higher than the side plates, and so your wheels won't hit. So all I'm going to do is carefully flip this over. There you go. So the next pieces that we'll put on will be the adjustments here. And with the bed upside down like this, the right is actually the left, and the left is actually the right. And then the two that go in the rear are the same. And what I'll do is I'll take two M 5x12s and put them at each corner. I like to stage my hardware. And then you want to make sure that this isn't so far down that your holes won't line up here on the side. You can see that these holes, these are a little bit too far down, so you just back it up a little bit. You want to give yourself a little room, so let it hang a little low. If you look in the back here, you want to put the screw actually into the groove of your bed cross rail. And so I just start putting these in via my fingers here. And you'll see that it tips from one side to the other. So I push down on it, and then I'll torque them up. And if you look on the back side, you'll see it pretty much centers up the screw in the middle of the groove. So at this point in time, you can screw it down to where it touches, and then you just stop. So you'll do the same thing. You want to put it in the groove, then bring it up. And you don't want any binding of your hardware. It should go in there freely. Of course, me, if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm all into power tools. So I don't start them with the power tools, but I finish it with the power tools. And then you'll do the same thing to this one. You'll screw it down until it touches. It's easier to put these on now than after you put your V-groove wheels on. You're not going to put the front ones on anyway here, but your rear ones, it just gives you a little bit more room to work with. If that piece of hardware is touching with the knob, then you're gonna see binding with these two pieces of hardware that you put in, because it'll be too high. You want it to be able to wiggle like that. Once again, I press it down. Take a look at it. It's in the middle. And there we go, it's touching. So the next pieces that we'll put in, since we're right here, is I'm going to grab two V-groove wheels and put the spacers on, the round spacers. And they've been cleaned. I'm going to use a little bit more grease on them. These in there. We got a flat washer, we got a lock nut, another flat washer and a lock nut. So when I'm putting these wheels on, what I like to do is I like to push towards the back. And that's just on these ones that have the spacers, because there's a little bit of play from side to side, or from front to back, with these wheels. So if you push it all the way back, it lines it up a little bit better. You're using it as a hard stop there. I'm going to move this over a little bit to access it. Okay. Then there's only one more wheel on this side that you could put on. So this is going to go on the back side of the rear Z upright. This one's going to go on the front side. This one over here is going to go on the back side of the front Z upright, and this is going to go on the front of the front. So you only want to put the back ones in right now. So you come up here to the front one. And the black mark on here will go away from where your Z upright is. That makes it spread out as far as it can go. And then we'll just go ahead and grab another V-groove wheel and screw. Flat washer and lock nut. These you don't have to pull because they're eccentrics. You do want to keep an eye on the black mark that's facing away from your Z upright. Make sure it doesn't spin. Sometimes this will spin on you. So that one looks pretty good. I'm going to straighten it up just a little bit. And we'll go to the other side. So once again, we're going to start off with the two that are in the rear, so they only have the spacers on them. Flat washer and lock nut. This is like rinse and repeat. So the reason, to remind you while we put the grease on there, is to keep the nut and the screw from seizing up. Once again, I was pushing it towards the back. And then we'll do the back one on the front Z upright. Put the eccentric on. Once again, the black goes away from where your Z upright is. You can see this is slid a little bit, so I'll try to straighten it up and we'll see if it stays that way. So you can see that it spun. I want to find the black mark. There it is. There we go. So when you look at your bed plate upside down with the heater pad on it, this is the serial number on it is on this particular one is 333. It's the front here. This is happens to be a 110 volt one. You either have 110 or 220. The front is going to be opposite from where your pigtails are, which is going to be the rear. So when you look at the overall buildup of this when you're finished, the two smaller holes on your side plates that are going to have the just spacers are going to be in the rear as well, with your cutout being towards the rear. If this cutout happens to be in front, then you need to take the side plate off and turn it around and put the notch towards the back. This notch is a clearance for your Z motor.